welcome back to my channel. I am Lisa and today I am talking meal planning with you. So my channel is all about memory keeping, creating and planning, and for me part of the planning is also the household planning, and under that falls meal planning. It's a really big part of my life. It's something I've been doing for a very long time now, but it's not really something I've discussed huge amounts with on this channel. So I thought I would spend a week with you. I'm going to do a bit of videoing each day. I'm going to get my meal planning done now and show you how I do it, and then just show you some short little snippets of my meal preparation and cooking each day. It's something I enjoy doing. That being said, I do get fed up with it as well, but meals, the healthy eating, family time has always been really important to me, and it's something I've always made a priority. My kids may not have ironed bed linen and they may not have ironed school shirts. I'm one for the tumble dryer to get them out and shake things, but I do always spend time cooking and making sure that we have a family meal. It's always been, like I said, really important to me. So today I'm going to show you how I meal plan. I like to try and get this done on a Sunday. However, we had a late football match yesterday and we did have a family meal and family movie time when we got home, so I didn't get round to it yesterday, so it's Monday and I'm doing it now. I always plan in my weekly planner. This is a Simple Stories A5 planner and I use the Cocoa Daisy daily planner sheets. It's a Monday through to Sunday sheet, and this is what I use for my meal planning. Now alongside this I take a look at my week and I see what I have planned, and then I know how much time to allow for either food prep, cooking, and also the type of meal that we're going to be having. So for example, on the nights where Holly's working, she works at a local hotel a couple of times a week, and so she leaves the house at 6, so we have to have an early meal. So I'm not going to be doing a roast dinner, for example, a family meal on that type of evening. It needs to be something quick, usually like a pasta meal or something like that. We also have a fussy eater in the house, so that does need to come into consideration. I try not to do different meals for him, but sometimes I get tired and I hate the family arguments. My husband's not so lenient and patient with him as I am, so for my own sake I like a bit of a quiet life sometimes, and it's nice sometimes to have one meal or 2 meals a week with no rowing. A lot of preparation and thought goes into all this, and I hate it when I sit at the table, or even sometimes before I've got to the table and the arguments have already started. Am I the only one that has a family like this? Please tell me I'm not. Do you have bickering at the table as well? It's funny because, like I said, I make it a priority. It's really important, but it's not always a pleasant experience. It really isn't. So anyway, let's get back to the meal planning. So Monday, for example, that's today, we're having a family meal and I am going to be doing linguine with a homemade tomato and red pepper sauce with white wine and chili and prawns. So it's something that everybody will like. We can all sit around the table. It feels quite a sociable meal, and I always have a glass of wine with this meal. So I'm going to write that in on my list now. Tuesday, the boys are out for football, and so it needs to be a practical meal. And so tomorrow actually I'm going to split the meals. We're going to have 2 different things, and I'm trying to get the kids a bit more involved with the cooking and doing their own type of cooking as well. And so I'm going to be doing something that the children don't like for Ada and myself. We're going to be having large flat mushrooms stuffed with quinoa, with peppers, garlic, onions, all that type of thing. And the children then, I'm going to leave them be and they can prep their own food together tomorrow evening. One place that I like to look for recipes is on Pinterest. I absolutely love Pinterest. It's really taken over from my cookbooks, and quite often before I would sit with cookbooks whilst meal planning just to come up with some different ideas and just to keep it interesting, because I get bored cooking the same meals as well, and Pinterest has now replaced that. I am going to be doing on Wednesday, I was having a look through yesterday and a friend of mine came up with a suggestion. She had cooked a Pioneer Woman pepperoni chicken recipe on she did that yesterday, and so I've jiggled things around and actually I'm going to be cooking that on Wednesday now. Thursday, just looking at my planner, Aid's out all day. He's in the office, so he'll be back at tea time, but Holly will be working at Waitrose between 5 and 8, so it needs to be a flexible meal, either one that she can eat before or after. So I'm going to do a crock pot meal that day, and I'm going to be doing beef and broccoli, and I'll be doing pasta with that later. Sorry, rice. I'm going to do rice with the broccoli and beef. That's also a Pinterest meal that I found. I haven't done that one before, so I'm looking forward to trying something new. It's not a usual meal that we have. Friday, Holly is also working. She's at the restaurant that evening. Bless her, she's got 3 jobs at the moment before she goes to uni. So she's doing 3 jobs at the moment right now. So Friday, I'm going to do a family meal before Holly goes out. I'm going to do something nice and quick. We are going to have salmon. I haven't decided. Oh, might do some sweet potatoes, maybe sweet potato fries with vine tomatoes and veggies as well. So it's nice and quick, no preparation in the day, but it's a really quick one to do, which I will start about 4:15 on that day before Holly goes to work. On a Saturday night, it should be something a little bit fun, maybe not as healthy as usual, so I will do tacos. And Sunday after football, I will do a roast dinner. I like to do something more traditional on a Sunday. So that's my menu planned. I have already been food shopping. Quite often I plan the menu and then do the food shopping, but I've been shopping already this week, and I will show you how my menu looks now. And that's the menu for the week. I'm going to go into the kitchen and start on tonight's dinner. So I'm about to make the sauce to go with the pasta, and these are what I'm using. I've also got a little bit of Heinz tomato soup, and that was left over from Holly's lunch. So rather than waste it, I'm going to just throw that in as well. It will add a bit of sweetness. So I'm going to chop all this up and pop it in the soup maker. So that's everything in the soup maker. That goes on for 20 minutes, and that will give me a really thick pasta sauce. I haven't put much stock in, or no stock at all, just a bit of water in the can from the tomatoes, and that will be my pasta sauce. Pasta sauce is done. I've got a glass of wine on the go, and I've got this deluxe linguine from Lidl that I bought at the weekend for 85p. So I've got the pasta sauce in a great big pan. I've got a whole load of prawns, they're going in. I'm going to add some fresh basil and parmesan, and then season to taste, and add a spoon of easy chili. I'm adding a little bit of crushed chili. Got some Prosecco left over in the fridge, so a splash of that can go in, and going to grate some parmesan in there as well, and plenty of salt and pepper. So this is our linguine with homemade tomato and red pepper with chili and Prosecco sauce with parmesan and fresh basil, and a glass of wine. Hi there, it's Tuesday and I'm about to crack on with dinner. I'm just going to show you what I've got going. We are having flat mushrooms stuffed with quinoa. I prepped the quinoa at breakfast this morning, and I'm going to be doing that with I've got also some of the tomato and red pepper sauce that I made yesterday, so that's going to be used as a base. The mushrooms stuffed with the quinoa on top, and 2 secs. And I've also I've got some kale, I've got some broccoli, some basil will go in with the quinoa, and I've got spring onions, red pepper, courgette and vine tomatoes to go with that, and garlic as well. So I've chopped up some of the spring onions, some garlic, red pepper, the centre bit of the mushrooms, and I'm going to pop that in a pan with a little bit of oil. So I've got the quinoa now mixed with everything else and the basil in the pan, and I've also chopped up the courgettes and onion. They're in a mini pan with nothing else other than salt and pepper, no oil or anything, and I'll dry fry those to go on the side. That's the mushrooms ready to go. So the mushrooms have come out, they've been in for about 15 minutes, and this whole meal has taken me just less than 30 minutes to cook, and that's obviously with preparing the quinoa at breakfast. And And that's tonight's dinner with the courgettes, onions, grilled cherry tomatoes, kale, broccoli, and the mushrooms with tomato red pepper sauce. Good morning, it's Wednesday. It's just after 8 o'clock. The school lunches have been done, breakfast has been done, and I've started on my morning routine, my cleaning routine. Just waiting for Louis to leave before I put the hoover around. I am going to get tonight's dinner on in the crock pot though. We've got a busy one this evening. Ada and I are going out on a date night. We're going to IKEA, and Holly's working until 5, and Louis has extra tuition at school today, so I just need something really easy. So I'm going to try a new recipe. It's that beef and broccoli that I found on Pinterest. Never made it before. It looks really nice. And what I always do, I change my screen to never lock, and then I can easily follow the recipe. Nothing worse than when it keeps timing out and you lose, or you have to keep signing back into your phone. So I've got everything ready. It's a really, really easy one. I've got my crock pot. My crock pot's a ceramic one, which I really like because it can go on the hob and in the electric thingy, so I can brown first. I need a pack of beef. It's just normal diced stewing beef, and into that goes a cup of beef stock. I love this measuring cup. We bought this in IKEA last year. Oh no, actually I think I bought it in Tiger. Can't remember, but it's got all the measurements on it. It's really easy. So that's going in. I've got half a cup of soy sauce. Now my soy sauce I always buy in Costco like this. Really big, but it works out really, really cheap, so that's worth looking into. And a quarter of a cup of brown sugar. That's it. That's going on for 2 hours on high, and I'm not browning it or anything. I do need to mix it though and coat it nicely. The recipe says 2 hours, and then afterwards I will add my broccoli and 5 cloves of minced garlic as well, and the cornstarch as well gets mixed with it. Supposed to be a bit Chinesey, like when you go to the takeout, but obviously a bit healthier. And I'll do this with rice later. So that's all coated, and I'll pop this on for a couple of hours. Last night's dinner was a huge success, by the way. The kids did their own thing last night, which was planned. Those mushrooms were so good, and I've got a mushroom and couscous left. Not couscous, I did quinoa, didn't I? Quinoa left for today, so that would be for lunch. And I've still got a whole bowl of that tomato sauce left as well. Actually, Holly might have that later for dinner. I don't know, but it's handy to have anyway. So, and the night before, there was no arguing at the table. It was just lovely conversation, and the same last night. Made a really nice change. So 2 nights in a row, no arguing. And it's now 4:45, and I'm just finishing up dinner. I've just mixed some corn flour in with a little bit of the stock from the crock pot. Don't make the same mistake as I did the other day. Instead of using corn flour, I used icing sugar, and then wondered why it didn't thicken. The meal was lovely and sweet. So I'm just going to add that. I've got a load of broccoli to chop up and put in. Holly has decided recently she doesn't want to eat meat anymore, but she's still happy to eat fish. So despite me doing this as an easy, quick meal for this evening, I'm actually currently making a fish pie as well. She brought me home a whole load of mixed fish from work yesterday. She works at Waitrose at the moment, and I'm boiling up some potatoes. I'm just going to pop the quick fish pie. She'll be home probably in about half an hour, and that's when I intend to have dinner ready. So Holly's just pulling onto the drive. I've just seen her pull up. It's now 5:15. Dinner is just about done. And whoops, I've just decided to quickly make some flapjacks for Louis' school lunches, and Holly enjoys them as well. I'm busy with the oats, and I thought while the oven's on with Holly's fish pie, I can throw these in as well. We've got Holly's fish pie, and that is the beef and broccoli for tonight. I've just taken the flapjacks out the oven. That beef and broccoli was amazing. It was really nice and really needed that honey, and the what else did I add? The fresh ginger. It was a really, really good meal. Hello, it's Thursday. It's Thursday, and it's just after 3 in the afternoon, and I'm going to get some dinner on. It's going to be a pepperoni chicken meal inspired by one of Pioneer Women's recipes, and I'm sticking it in the crock pot. I'm using up the tomato soup sauce that I made the other day, the tomato and red pepper. So that's going to go in. I don't like waste. And to that I need a little bit more, so I'm adding some chopped tomatoes. They are going to go in. I'm not going to add any extra seasoning because I'm going to add some other things now, and I just want to make sure that it's not over seasoned, so I would rather add the seasoning at the end when it's cooked and I've tried it. So I've taken 2 chicken breasts, cut them in half so that they're thin, and I've popped them on top of the sauce. I'm now going to take some chorizo and thinly slice it. In her recipe she uses like salami, pepperoni, and I've only got chorizo. The whole chorizo rings are on offer at the moment in Lidl for 89p. That's such a good price. So I did stock up because they do last. And I'm just going to quite thinly slice, and then I'm going to lay them on top of the chicken. So I've got the tomato red pepper sauce. Obviously I've made my own, but if you don't, you could use passata, and then add your own seasoning, your own herbs, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be smooth, you can have chunky as well. Now I've got my chorizo, and I'm going to layer this on top of the chicken. This will then add a really nice flavour to the tomato sauce when it cooks down. So that's why I wasn't too worried about adding any extra seasoning to the dish, as this will obviously season the tomato sauce quite nicely. Just need a little bit more. I haven't decided yet whether I'm doing pasta or what I'm doing. We had rice last night. I've got some potatoes. I might do some potatoes and some veg actually, I'm not sure. And then I'm going to get some cheese. In the original recipe she uses mozzarella over the top. I haven't got any mozzarella, but I've got loads of cheese, so I'm going to grate some cheese and layer that on the top. There it is with the grated cheese. I'm going to whack this in the crock pot now on high for 2 to 3 hours, see how long it takes. It's an hour after I last filmed. I am so tired today. I've just been having a cup of tea and a catch up with the kids, walked the dog. I think I did that before I filmed actually. I'm now just cutting up some potatoes. I'm going to show you the inside the crock pot in just a moment. I've decided I fancy potatoes and not pasta, and I'm doing almost like chipped potatoes, and I'm cutting them up into these little slices. I'm just going to pop them into a saucepan of water for now, and I will just pop them in a pan with some oil, bit of onion and garlic, about 45 minutes before we want to eat. Whoops, I've just dropped one. And I'm going to do carrots, broccoli and peas. And that's inside the crock pot, and it smells amazing. I'm really looking forward to this meal. 20 to 5, I've drained off the potatoes. I've added some onion sliced, a little bit of chopped garlic, fresh, and some oil. Coated everything. I'm going to add some seasoning and pop them in the oven. And that is tonight's dinner. Chicken, pepperoni chicken, or chorizo chicken really. Good evening, it's Friday evening, the end of the week, and this is my last day in the kitchen with you today. Holly has eaten already. She's about to go to work. We didn't want to eat quite so early as it still is only 20 to 6. I'm just preparing sweet potato chunky fries. I've got salmon ready to go under the grill. There's going to be grilled vine cherry tomatoes, kale and peas. And so it's a really quick, easy throw in the oven one. So I've got the sweet potato fries with some seasoning and rapeseed oil. I'm just going to mix those up so they're nice and coated, and pop them in the oven. And Holly's already done her salmon, and that's going to be ours. And there we have it. We've got grilled salmon. I've done some parsnip fries, sweet potato chunky fries, peas, kale and grilled cherry tomato. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen this week. I hope you've enjoyed my meal planning. Please let me know if you are a meal planner as well, and any tips that you have or how you like to plan yours. I'd really love to know. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. I would love to know, as this is a completely different type of video to what I've done in the past. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye!